Stand clear of the closing door.
Welcome to She's Got It All Figured Out Almost, the podcast for the girls in their plot twist era, figuring it out one questionable decision at a time. I've always wondered what it would be like to be that girl. You know, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, but so far I've related more to the girl in the rom-com scenes before everything works out. Like one of those days when you missed your subway, your coffee spills all over your shirt, your heel breaks, you can't find your phone, as if everyone else got the instruction manual and yours somehow got lost in the mail. But hear me out. I had this crazy idea. What if we could try to figure it out together? Cause the more I go through life, the more I realize that actually no one knows what they're really doing. So maybe the goal isn't having it all figured out. Maybe it's learning to embrace the mess, the mistakes, and the unexpected plot twists along the way. And less about becoming someone new, but learning to fall in love with who you are. But one thing I know for sure is this: you don't have to figure it out alone. So whatever you're doing right now, get ready for some unapologetic girl talk about figuring it out, or almost. Hi, Julia. Welcome to the She's Got It All Figured Out Almost podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So, first of all, for people who don't know you, you're a content creator and you also work in marketing at Bicom.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I guess we'll dive into, first of all, your journey a little bit so people can get to know you a little bit more. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey to getting to work in marketing and what inspired you?
Ooh, it's been a long road, to be honest. I started thinking about marketing back when I started in almost uni and also my corporate job at the National Bank. I was a very lost student in CJEP. I was, studying in graphic design, and I didn't know if I wanted completely to pursue that career path. I was like, do I see myself really working in graphic design for the rest of my life? No. So I wanted to probably like have a mix between analyzing and something. I was still finding myself out as well. So basically at the National Bank, I worked every single job there was at the teller, and then I jumped in the corporate ladder and I discovered the marketing world. So the marketing world, what I had to do is a big project that I literally had to present to the higher ups. It was like a logo, something that would really was going to connect to a bunch of employees there.
So a
And
big
I really,
task to start
oh,
with.
definitely. I was so stressed out that I blacked out doing that presentation. And I remember that feeling that a lot of people seeing it and commenting, and those emojis on Teams, like little
Yeah.
hearts, like the thumbs up, and a lot of celebration emojis as well that I really loved. And people were like, Julia, why don't you go study university marketing? And I'm like, I am low-key scared because what if I'm a failure at it?
Oh, no.
Like, because uni is a big change from CJIP. And I've heard that
Mhm.
from a lot of my friends that graduated or they're doing PhDs or, whatever, being successful at what they are. And I was scared to also not make it and be lost. But then I remember, signing up for uni. I got accepted. I told my parents. I went to my first class and I had like a little panic attack in my first
Oh.
class. I remember so vividly. And then I told myself, and that was the turning point. I said to myself, Julia, but you didn't even try.
Mm.
And I think
Yeah,
that
sometimes
really
it's
helped
like
me.
almost most scary to start.
It is. It's very scary to start, but my advice, for a lot of people that, like trying to change career paths or stuff like that, I mean, just do it and try and see, because
Mhm.
you're still young. Like, I'm still looking out for myself, trying to find a path. And my parents would always like have this belief in me that you need to work in something that you love because it's something that's going to follow up for the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
your whole life.
Exactly. And I got to meet so amazing people there, associations, events, networking. You have to network, of course.
Mhm.
And I think that just made me fall in love with marketing, and the teachers as well at HEC, because I went to HEC, that were so nice to me, so interesting. Some of them really still work in marketing as well. And I just started also content creation at the same time. So I guess everything just follows up into why I love marketing and why I love the storytelling of it, because I get to help people at their businesses and see them put their ideas into visuals and videos and stuff like that. So that's kind of my story to like where I've got the love for marketing.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, and I love that you've had to like kind of also face kind of these little challenges just to
I did.
figure out your passion. I feel like that's a
I
lot
did, yeah.
something that a lot of people experience in a
Mhm.
way, and it takes courage to be like, yes, this is what I want to do. Sometimes you have
Mhm.
like outside factors of like people around you, or even
Yeah.
like your own thoughts about yourself. So yeah, that's really inspiring to see that you're like, okay, this is the path
Yeah,
I want
this
to go
is the
into.
path I'm taking, and I dig in it. And yeah, I still had my pretty challenges that we'll talk about
Yeah.
later, but it's been successful so far.
Yeah, and when it comes to your career in marketing now, do you have any career highlights or moments that you're proud of when you reflect on them?
Oh, I definitely do. One of them, and as I already mentioned, was on the National Bank. I think that was really something that really taught me that I really could do anything if I put my
Mm-hmm.
mind to it, and that you just have to try. That was one of my highlights. I think the other ones was also non-related to marketing, but I still felt proud by doing it. I hosted a webinar for newcomers at the National Bank in Spanish. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily speak French or English, maybe Spanish or some other languages, but I was glad to be participating in that project as well. And I think also in one of my associations in school, and that I was kind of like the VP IT. They make it fancy, but I was just really just
Or you can accept that was
yeah,
fancy.
exactly. I was helping them out, and I remember that day we were having a kind of like a not a webinar, but a live audience Q&A with an
Mm-hmm.
influencer called Cassidy Neves that I really adore and love her. I think she's really great at what she does. She's also a content creator. And they were like, Julia, you know her, you seem to know her so well, and like you idolize her. Like, why don't you interview her? And I'm like, what? It was the same day on a Saturday morning, and I was like, not ready. I was not prepared. So they just told me just
The same day?
the same day in the morning.
That's
They were like,
wild. And
just
I'm
do
saying that
it.
as a podcaster.
Yeah. And I blanked at that moment because it was like a bunch of students in marketing as well. They knew Cassidy and she works at L'Oreal and all. And I was like, I just did that. I presented to a live audience and, like my heart was pounding
I feel like
a
if you can
lot.
do that, you can actually really do anything.
I actually, no, yeah, I remember it was a really beautiful moment. I think just Cassidy just really put me at ease as well
Mm-hmm.
because she's not someone that, like looks scary or anything. She really looks like someone you could just easily go talk to. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really love about her. What's next? Let's see. Oh, yes. I launched an account actually called
Mm-hmm.
Cafe Green Drip. It's near Concordia. And they were, it's matcha coffee and a lot of little desserts. That was a really proud achievement as well because it was really my first time launching an account
Mm-hmm. Your own
and
project.
exactly visuals and making reels, making an event as well with, bringing content creators to really explore the place. And it was in summertime, so people really loved it. And I think just bringing that account to life and making it grow, that was something that I really, really am proud of.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, like, from that experience, what are your thoughts on, like, kind of marketing today in
Yeah.
a way? Like, cause starting a whole project like this, like,
Hmm.
creating, like, I guess, like, from the brand to the marketing, like,
Hmm.
what are your thoughts on, like, where things are kind of going, or what, like, your own processes?
Oh, to be honest, if someone that was just really starting out and as my first really experience in that time in that agency as a, girl that was like figuring out still, I think it was a bunch of trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
From being a student graphic design, I kind of had that eye for aestheticness and visuals. And I guess just really understanding the client as well. So there's this balance where you need to have the visual, pretty things like Pinterest. And then you need to understand the client, what it wants, and when it mood board. And I just go with it. A lot of trial and error questions as well. And the trendiness as well in this market because people, what do they love seeing? What
Mm-hmm.
is it the nice pictures, the nice reels, is the raw content, what they want to see. So I guess that's something that I've been slowly, if you want to make it polished, my
Yeah.
process. As 2 years back, being an intern, it was always like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and making mistakes. Which today I don't make as much mistakes, but I feel like mistakes are really important to do in life for you to grow and to learn and to least face for the other challenges that's coming up ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you can evolve a little bit.
Exactly. That's the evolving process.
Yeah, and talking about mistakes, we're in the plot twist subway, so we're
Oof.
all about moments like this where are kind of plot twists. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you have moments like this in your life that were maybe a little bit more challenging, or
Hmm.
and what did you learn from them?
Yeah. So I believe my first challenge as someone that knew nothing about marketing, no experience, but was slowly starting in content creation. It really depends which direction someone wants to take. But for me, I really wanted something to go into the artistic side.
Hmm.
So I knew I had to build a portfolio, but I had not nada, no experience. And I remember still working at the bank, and I was like, my parents were like, "You need to find something, if it's at a bank, someone else." Because at that point, it was like kind of like slowly getting into
Stagnant a
my
little
comfort
bit.
zone. Yeah,
Okay.
and I wanted something more challenging. And I guess I found out an ad on Instagram, just like, "Oh, we're looking for an intern, like apply here." And I'm like, "Oh," and it happened to be the digital diary that I worked for them for a lot of months,
Mm-hmm.
and to which I think I'm really proud to say that was my first beautiful experience as an intern. I got to discover a lot of different accounts, restaurants, wellness, and stuff like that. But the challenging part is that I got rejected a bunch of time. I think at some point I sent 100 CVs. A lot of them did not
That's the
reply.
reality of like a
Oh,
lot of people now.
it
So
is. It's really hard now.
takes a lot of grit, right?
Hmm. Oh yeah, I remember I was so happy. I was not paid. A lot of interns still don't get paid till this day. But
Mm-hmm.
at least I had my corporate job, so I was working full time. I was doing the internship. I was going to school. I was basically doing it all almost. I don't know how I did it, in the social life and going to the gym or Pilates and stuff like that. Then my next challenge was at this small business. I won't say the name just because, out of respect, again, I don't want to put nobody in the spot. But I helped her out previously for events and stuff like that as a way of freeing myself that I could work with her and give her
Mm-hmm.
a hand and a lot of things. And after 3 months, and we were in the same room, she said goodbye to me and, "Oh, see you tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay." I go home that day and she sends me an email saying that, "Oh, your 3 months is up. Like, thank you, goodbye. You don't need to come to work tomorrow."
Mm.
It was the most horrible day of my life because, as someone that was proving herself,
Yeah.
she literally took me for granted in a
Yeah.
way. And I remember crying my eyes out.
No.
Going back home, I called my boyfriend and he was like, "I am so sorry that this is happening to you. Like, I don't know what to say." And I'm like, I just really needed someone, to hear me out about this really ugly situation that I had to. But it is the reality sometimes, that people don't
Mm-hmm.
really say out loud that. And it's also my fault because in the contract, I didn't read it properly, perhaps, or the way. But then again, legally, it was written, if I recall.
Yeah.
But I think as a human being, I would have loved to, have a notice, a sit down with this person as to why are you cutting me off necessarily. They say it's a business decision. Now, is it really? I have no idea. But, to find a job, it took me at least 2, 3 months before I got another one.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even in marketing. I had to go retail back
Yeah,
before I
exactly.
find it something more stable and permanent. So I just wish that person was a bit more transparent with me and
Yeah.
honest about it. Just,
Yeah, and
no
it's
hard
kind of the ways
feelings.
of not navigating the corporate world
It
in
is.
general. Like it's
Yeah.
sometimes like a lot of disappointments. Like you get to work on creative projects, but then understanding people as
Yeah.
well. So, is there like more things you've learned since that experience?
Well, since it was a small business, I think I just wished more the values of that person would have been, more honest with me because I don't mind being cut off and I completely understand if you explain me the situation because everyone's human, you
Mm-hmm.
know, situation changes, there's probably something that was wrong, like just came out, but I just wish perhaps a heads up would have been nice than just like saying goodbye, see you tomorrow. But then I get home, I receive an email, no text, no nothing, and say, "Oh yeah, you don't need to come to work tomorrow. You're done." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
nice," but life continues.
Yeah, when it comes to, for example, an advice you would
Hmm.
have, because, like, from your experience and what we're hearing today, like you've had like the grit to like keep going with your
Yeah.
passion and keep going at it, even if like you go through like a
Hmm.
million obstacles along the way. So,
Yeah.
like, what would be your advice for someone like this who might be facing these rejections and like, but this is their passion, this is what they want to do. So, what
Hmm.
would be your advice?
I think for people out there is that you have to keep going. Keep going. To be honest, I think one of the most beautiful thing, and I know it's not for everyone, but being surrounded by really beautiful people, my family, my best friends, my boyfriend, and all the community out there with content creators as well that I have friends till this day, really supporting me. Because at the end of the day, and it was not the first challenge that I've gotten up, but I think it was the most, if we say, traumatizing one for me
Hmm.
because it really developed a trauma in me. Basically, like 3 months probation is like so like important that I was
Yeah.
scared to like my current job to be like not taking, that's what the little trauma created in me. But I think it's to really not give up and always try new things. as well. Don't be afraid. There's always going to be something out there for this person, and what's meant for you will be absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. I want to touch base a little bit on content creation
Yeah.
because you started content creation as well, and I feel like that's one of the ways to put yourself out there as
Yeah.
well. So I'd love to know like maybe a little bit of the story of like why you started content creation and
Ooh.
everything like that.
At the beginning, I think, as a lot of content creators out there, is that they just started posting pictures about anything. They're like, oh, and then people would suddenly just suggest you, like, oh, you should post more on Instagram. You know, you should do more this. Maybe you could make it out of something, and who knows will lead you. And I was like so afraid to doing that. I'm such a
Hmm.
shy person.
That imposter syndrome
Yes,
kind of
of
thing.
course, and I still get it till this day. To be shy, I'm really introverted, but sometimes extroverted. So sometimes I like to reserve my energy because I feel like my energy is very sacred and it's very important to me. But I guess it just started out like that. And somehow or another, if I remember correctly, there was this girl following me that was doing a lot of food content because I think that's how I started out making food content.
Hmm.
And she just created a group chat with a lot of bunch of content creators, and we connected, and I think we just bonded, and I think collaborations coming flowing on. I posted more content, and so goes on. And then I was like, wait, okay, is my account gonna be just food related? Then I just wanted to just shift it out more
Yeah, you're
to
like, what's my
me.
actual
Yes,
mission?
what's
Yeah.
my actual mission? Um, and it's really to help people out there, whether it's in content creation, whether it's in marketing. I think it's just like the power of giving back, and
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it's something I always want to do, especially that I'm Latina, I'm Peruvian. So obviously there's not a lot of people like me, and I really want to just more showcase, even if you're different country, different culture, you're able to do it still. So,
Yeah.
but mostly to help back.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes, like you said, like you had these questions of like, should I do it? Should I not do
Yeah,
it? Like, I am like, self-conscious about it. But like, then when you start doing it, you actually notice, the people you impacted, like
hmm,
the why you're doing it. Then people look up to you and like
yeah,
they potentially follow their dreams as well because they're watching
of
you do
course.
it. So I feel like once you start seeing that, then you're like, yeah, it's worth it for you to put yourself out there.
Definitely, it's worth it, even if you have a bajillion questions at first. But I think it's just what matters the most is that there's people that like you, and there's people that love
Yes.
your
Yeah.
content, even if they don't know you. And the friends that support you as well, they're gonna share and comment and like. And if people don't like you, well,
Goodbye.
goodbye. I mean, there's no space for negative energy here, to be honest. No.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have like a little life motto or something that you try to live by as well?
I don't know if it's really a motto, but I would say that treat the way you want to be treated. I
Hmm.
think that goes a long way. So same goes for energy. People sometimes I really have this, I don't know if it's a power.
Mm.
I can sense the energy from people, and sometimes I don't feel it like it's well. So I try to
Yeah.
maintain a distance, which is completely fine because I'm not about to drain my battery. But I think that's principle really important. Treat
Yeah.
the way you want to be treated, and always stay humble. And that's something that my godmother, my parents deeply, deeply put it in me because, I mean, humble really gets you the thing, and you get good things back too.
Yeah. That's great
So,
values for sure.
yeah.
Well, and then for people who would want to follow you and get to know a little bit what you're
Mhm.
doing, where can they find you?
Well, you guys can follow me on Instagram by Curated by Jules, or if you want to connect on LinkedIn as well, Julia Sifuentes. I think you can write my last name there. It gets a bit complicated to say. But I'd say both of them. And if you guys want to DM me or chit chat or something like that, you guys can as well. I would love to help you out and, probably give more advices if they need to.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you,
Well,
Julia. Thank you
thank you
so
so
much for
much
joining
for
us today and
this.
for connecting with our audience as well.
Thank you. It's so fun. So I hope we get to connect soon.